Sony has made an attempt to buy From Software. Well, the company that owns From Software, the games Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Demon Souls. But PlayStation, through Sony, is in talks to acquire Kadokawa, a company that also has a major anime company. This would be, more importantly, a monopoly for the anime group, content paired with Sony's already owned Crunchyroll. Hoag's Law, who covered a bunch of the Activision Blizzard acquisition for Xbox, put in his expertise about Sony going after such a major conglomerate, which includes entertainment, media, and gaming. Hoag's Law said, "Honestly, I'd be more concerned about Sony accidentally bankrupting themselves than monopolizing games and anime. I just don't see a simple way for them to pay for this. They have approximately $12 billion. This company is likely worth 15 to 20 billion.
What the fuck is this idiot talking about? Dude, the market cap is literally 608 billion yen, which is like 500 something million. What a fucking dumbass, bro. It's like $4 billion to $5 billion. The fuck? Dude, these internet experts are just fucking retarded. This is supposedly a lawyer, and he doesn't know how to do exchange rates or look up a fucking market cap on fucking Yahoo Finance? Dear God, man.
Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault Gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, that was a little clip from GriffinGaming, so credit to him. Go check out that video. He goes over a lot of similar things as well, but just wanted to share that as it's a great addition to seeing Colt get his ass cooked. So that being said, what I'm going to do is do a quick prelude that this theme of the video, we're going to revisit that red line or no red line, so to speak, in regards to Phil Spencer's statement himself. So let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is get right to the salt here for your episode of the Salty Batch Files, of course, and we're going to start off strong here with Blaze 305. Now, none of these guys obviously are too happy, but as you can see, tagging Xbox Phil Spencer himself, if this is true, you're an absolute fraud and should be fired ASAP. You lied to all of us with exclusive talk just to change your mind a couple years later. SMH, I hope everyone does switch over to PlayStation so you can really feel what a failing console looks like. Well, Phil, he's not going to be the only one out there. Not that Phil's probably seeing this, or maybe he is, who knows. However, Blaze, let me break this down real quick to you. I understand your saltiness here, I understand your frustration, but again, where have you been? We all seen this coming, of course. On top of that, what it feels like to see a failing console if everybody switches, it's already been a failing console. That's why we're seeing this shift as you speak. This is the after effects of Game Pass, and those of you out there not buying those games and biting onto the baited hook. We tried to say Phil himself was kind of a used car salesman. Look, he's just doing his job. The fact that y'all keep falling for it, I don't know. I've seen it a mile a ways, but let's continue. Let's continue. This one here from Tiger's Den 98. A bunch of thumbs down emojis, by the way. Terrible look for Xbox. There should be a red line. SMH, we need Phil to get more aggressive like Peter was. Talking about Peter Moore back in the day, 360 era and before. The least you can do, and make sure all Xbox games stay exclusive. I miss the days you used to see only on Xbox. You know, I honestly do too, because that was when real competition happened. That's when you have competition push to the corner, they innovate, they do more. I've said this time and time again. We need that competition, guys. Like, it's funny to see kind of what's happened because you got all the delusional fanboys out there that's what we go over here, of course, in the Salty Batch Files. But at the end of the day, we need that strong competition. Nintendo's been doing their own thing. They're not direct competition, so to speak. On top of that, I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, this is going to be now 2 generations of a lack of competition, really. And you know that there's no urgency. We felt that. We've had great games from PlayStation, don't get me wrong, but you've definitely felt that lack of urgency, like I just stated. And they don't care. They don't need to care as much. We still get the great games, but the messaging hasn't necessarily been there. We haven't seen the showcases. We haven't seen the communication, so to speak. It's not been like the way it was, and I understand times change, but trust me, if there was foot held to the fire, we'd be seeing a lot more of that. But let's keep going on because we're not done with the upsetted ness of the community from the Xbox side of things. So, from Xbox Game Pass himself stating historic moments in Xbox history, June 1st, 2017, when game met pass. Now, yeah, that's when officially the true downfall started to happen for Xbox. But as you can see underneath that, Queen Beelzebub. Seen this dork floating around quite a bit. However, another historic moment, idiot Xbox P3 Phil Spencer himself saying, "There are no red lines for our games going to PlayStation. LOL, what a joke. Just drop the brand and become full third party already and stop wasting our time." Well, Queen, what you need to realize and understand is this has already happened. They don't need to fully drop the moniker. They still may come out with another generation. They may come out with that fabled, handheld, right? But regardless of that happening, we're seeing it right before your very eyes. We have seen it. That direction has been happening. We're seeing that correction, that course correction. They have no choice. That's why there's no red line. That's why it's been a test of what's going to sell, what hasn't, and all that stuff. Y'all have had your chances multiple times. I don't know how many times I can keep saying this. You should have bought your games. You guys are essentially full-on third party. It's just a matter of time before that's day and date on the competing platform. It's already been day and date on PC. That was another tell, right? I understand they're kind of synonymous with one another. Xbox and PC, Windows, whatever, however you want to kind of marry those things together. However, that's been in the books for quite some time. I don't know why this is a shock, but that's what they all are. It's shocked right now, like, ooh, shocked Pikachu face once again. But let's keep going here. Marbs Man, right? If it is true that Halo, Forza, and Gears are going to PlayStation, this is a line Xbox should not cross. Platform exclusivity for your core franchises is essential. Not an Xbox future I want. Well, I 100% agree with you, Marbs Man. I've always said this, and a lot of people, the fake neutrals, the PC crowd, eccentrics that like to lean towards the Xbox or the Xbox refugee crowd, right? They don't like exclusivity. They disagree with me, and even in this video, as me speaking right now, if you get to this point of the video, you're still going to disagree with me and think that exclusives shouldn't happen, it's too pro-corporate instead of pro-consumer, all this stuff. I can speak till I'm blue in the face, I can give you all the facts in the world, and y'all still aren't going to believe me for those on that side of the fence. No, exclusives matter. Exclusivity matters. Even if it's timed exclusivity, it matters. 100%. And if you don't think so, again, they don't sell PlayStation consoles just because its name is PlayStation. That's not how that works. Nintendo doesn't sell Nintendo handhelds and consoles that it has had time and time again without having exclusivity and great games to back that up. Look no further than the faultiness of the Wii U. Yes, it wasn't just due to the games, but it was a lack of gaming libraries. It was a lack of what you put into the hardware system. There's a combination of things that make your hardware and platform successful. You can't just rely on name alone. Otherwise, Nintendo still would have sold boatloads on the Wii U system itself. That did not happen. It will go down in fabled history on how bad that they failed in that aspect. So yes, exclusives matter. I understand this person being salty. I understand that the exclusives matter to them. It matters to me. It should matter to everybody. If you're on the PC side of things, of course, you don't think it matters because you want everything open platform, yada, yada, yada. However, for those of us that love the plug and play, that love the value in that aspect of things, it certainly matters, and it does matter for competition. If it's an open platform in the long run, trust me, a lot more negative is going to be taken than the positive. And this is not corporate bootlicking. This is nothing there, so clip all you need to, folks. But the reality of it is, it has been since day one, exclusivity mattered. I rest my case, but let's keep going here. Now, I've seen Doomslayer here. He's been around for quite some time here, but he's another idiot. So, Xbox PS3, he's saying, basically, you're saying F you, Xbox players, gotcha. The moment I see Halo coming to PlayStation is the moment Xbox dies and I move to PlayStation full time. Look, it's going to happen. So let me break this down here real quick. You're super upset about it, right? If that happens, that's when you fully move. You probably have a PlayStation right now, if I recall. I think you've even mentioned to me on social media you have one and you try to play the fake neutral. You have all systems, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. That doesn't mean you're a neutral. We all have a preference, whether you have all systems or not. If you don't, you're not telling the truth. That being said, circling back around to this here, Halo's coming. I'm telling you right now, if you happen to see this, or if a friend of his happens to see this, feel free to truly pass this by. If you don't believe me, look no further than the proof in the pudding as we speak now, and Indiana Jones, and. Next year is going to be very, very telling. I foresee that we have an opportunity to get Starfield at that point. I see opportunity to get Avowed, in addition to many other things, right? And they're putting Halo, the original, the rumors are out there, if not all but confirmed, that they are doing a remaster of the very first Halo. Wonder why they're doing that. Why are they doing a prequel to Gears of War? Why are they doing all this stuff? And they're redoing the engine stuff. It's because they're going to make it more open platform, right? They're going to make it more multi-platform and user-friendly for all these ecosystems. So it's happening. So either you want to waste your time, and this goes to everybody out there that is supporting Xbox right now. It's 100% okay if you do that. I don't care. Most of us don't care. It's the delusion that we care about. The misinformation you like to spread. You pull the wool over your own eyes or others' eyes. That's the problem. Play what you want. But I'm telling you right now, for all of you out there that still want to latch on that this is not happening, that those games are not coming to another platform, especially PlayStation, I got news for you. It is. So either you waste your time when you plan to move to PlayStation when that happens, and you've had enough and that's the straw that broke the camel's back, you either do it now, or you're just going to sit there and waste your time, effort, money, all that stuff, and then have to do it later on anyway. So either you're lying when you say this stuff and you're going to stay put as long as Xbox is giving you something to play on, or you're truly going to move. And if you truly are going to move, you might as well do it, because it's happening. Simple. All right, going on to Shinji here. Might as well get a PlayStation and get rid of the Xbox, right? We can't have a legacy anymore, huh? Thanks, Xbox P3, tagging Phil Spencer again. Shinji, that's pretty much on course. That's pretty much right. There's not going to be a legacy going forward. It's going to be days of the past kind of thing. Again, yes, like I just stated, you might as well go to PlayStation if that's what you're wanting to do, if all those games are going there anyways. Yes, if you want to stay on console. If you don't, and you want to go to PC, and you want to wait for those PlayStation exclusives to bounce over there, and you still believe those will be day and date for the first party single player exclusive games, be my guest. I don't have a timetable on when it'll be day and date for PC. A lot of people think it'll be within 1-2 years. Some think 1 to 5 years. I think in 5 years, it's a possibility. I think it's a little bit longer than that if it does happen to be there. If these consoles continue to sell, and by these consoles, I mean PlayStation consoles, there's less initiative for them to go ahead and port everything to PC day and date. I just don't see that happening, because you do want to protect your ecosystem, and as long as those are selling fairly well, that's what's going to happen. So as we continue on here, Toby, with that last interview, you guys might as well not even bother to make another console if nothing is exclusive. You've already moved a lot of your fans to PC and PlayStation, and some of us have just gone full PC for Xbox and PlayStation. Yes, just like I just said. Very upset, Toby is. Again, we see the saltiness and the fatigue in a lot of the fan base here. And regardless of the inner circles on social media and them lying nonstop, we know who we're talking about, we feature them often, letting them kind of sit out on this one a little bit, just a little bit, just getting community feedback here in regards to this stuff here. I just want to portray others in the know, so it's not that echo chamber, so to speak, between each other, because it does seem super loud, right? But everybody may not understand, and a lot of people that follow others, like the shills that we cover, this is kind of the fallout that I'm talking about as well. They just don't understand. They think everything's fine, and then here we are, right? So sometimes it's their fault. They should be smart enough to understand, but a lot of the times when you just are so sucked into tribalism and a brand, and you follow these frauds and shills, and they don't care if they're lying to you because they're grifting, this sort of thing happens more often than not. But that's why I am here, to share that stuff, like I've gone over multiple times. Now, wrapping that up here, I just wanted to share one more post, and this is in regards to the Catfish, aka Joseph Cruz, aka Andrea Piccinini, aka now Extension, like I said here. So, pot, meat, kettle here. I will enjoy Avowed much more since I'll be giving the middle finger to such LOSER who lives to hate video games. Kissy face, middle finger emoji, talking about Grums. And he's stating, of course, I'm rejecting any game that has pronouns in it, and you grammar Nazis know what I mean. Stop being stupid. I don't care if the game is good, a message must be sent. And he's in replying to what Extension stated when he's calling out Extension's post of Ghost of Yote. This is, you see though, do you see how we have the pot meeting kettle here? That Extension isn't for DEI if it's against Xbox, but if it's against PlayStation, by all means, fair game. This is just absolute insanity. They still have a very large following. I still don't understand it, but at least, hey, again, they provide that content to create that delusional, crazy world. But it's just right there, right? We see it. And of course, Grums isn't responding directly to that, I don't believe, but he is stating what he stated. Extension not being happy about that, but right there, it's not okay if you're going after Xbox. Things are perfectly fine, not that big a deal, whatever case you want to make. But again, if there's something to be pulled from the PlayStation side of things on a game, woke, DEI, all that stuff, that's a problem, man. That's when it's a problem. You love to see it. You love to see it, folks. But before we wrap up the video, I do want to share one quick video here in regards to the Crazy Gang. I don't need to announce who each one is. You can see it. The delusion speaks for itself. Let's go ahead and take a look here.
But yet still, we still got guys out here saying they didn't push the hardware. Who said it was going to make Xbox Series all of a sudden be #1 in NPD?
Who cares?
That's the only narrative these guys have is hardware because PlayStation is still selling hardware.
So?
But didn't I see today that the sales, again, are not cannibalized at all? Didn't Matt Pitt...
Listen, it's not cannibalizing the sales because PlayStation version sold well, PC version sold well, but Xbox version, the sales obviously went down, but it's not cannibalizing the sales because the shit is like breaking all kind of records.
Someone said sales are up 23%.
Yeah, but I think that's overall. I think it's overall because they said in the United States, 85% of PlayStation was 82% were a full game sales was on PS5 in America, right? So people was running with that. Oh, nobody bought it on that spot. Are you stupid?
It just means that these ponies don't care about PlayStation games. They care about Xbox games.
It was in Game Pass, you dummies.
All right, so as we can see here, they certainly don't care. It's always a changing in the narrative. It's always a changing in the goalpost. It doesn't matter what COD does on PlayStation. It doesn't cannibalize sales and all that stuff. And they just want to downplay the sales on PlayStation. Like, oh yeah, they need Xbox games. What are you talking about? No, they don't. Call of Duty is always sold extremely well on PlayStation. I continued to see that happening. Whether that did move the needle for Game Pass subscribers enough, I knew it would still sell exponentially well on the PlayStation side of things because that's what the fan base does. They have those games, they buy them, just like the sports users. They buy every iteration of FIFA or Football Club. They buy every iteration of NBA 2K or Madden. Whatever the case is, these folks that are hardcore, whether it be Call of Duty or anything else, they buy those games every year. They're used to the ecosystem. Their friends are there. It's too much of a juggernaut onto the brand of where these, yearly releases, so to speak, continue to happen. They're not going to shift. It doesn't matter. To them, they don't want another subscription. It may entice a few, absolutely. Not saying it doesn't. We still don't know what that needle has looked like for sure. There's been no official statement. I think we won't hear anything till probably about February or March in regards to what COD did for Game Pass subs because they want a few months under the belt to see how that worked. But you just gotta love the downplaying. It's absolutely insane. Now, that being said, I take it back. I do want to share one more video. I know we're running a little bit long here, but I did want to share another video. This is in regards to Paris. This guy is such a talker. He just loves to just back and forth talk, and we're talking about goalpost moving. We're talking about changing the narrative. We're talking about all these things. This is your prime example right here. Go ahead and take a look.
Hey, if you're spending $7.5 billion, then it is realistic to expect that they're going to make those IPs, for the most part, exclusive to their platform, to their ecosystem. Going forward, games that come from Bethesda will live where Xbox Game Pass lives, which means they're not going to show up on PlayStation. They're not going to show up on Nintendo. And that's why I've always thought they don't need PlayStation to reach everyone they want to reach. If anything, you want to take those Bethesda IPs away from PlayStation, make them exclusive to their platform, aka go subscribe to Game Pass.
Eventually.
So if they're looking at it at this late stage of that game's life to say, you know what? Maybe we should expand it and put it on more platforms. Maybe we do bring it to the Switch. Maybe we do bring it to PlayStation, right? It's not the craziest thing in the world to say that a Microsoft game is on a PlayStation platform, because Minecraft lives there, and the various iterations of Minecraft already live there, same as Nintendo. So here's a multiplayer game where you want to get as many people as you possibly can playing that game. You bring it to that platform. Again, it's not like it's coming day and date. This is the first time it's ever come out. They're not taking anything away from the current Xbox community in that aspect. If anything, they're giving you more people to interact with within the Sea of Thieves community. So again, I do not see this as a bad thing. Now, let's look at the big picture of all of this. Is Xbox going third party? No, they're not going third party. Now, if there comes a day where Phil Spencer or Sarah Bond or Matt Booty come out and go, you know, we've made the decision that we're bringing Gears of War, Halo, Forza, I don't know, Avowed, Starfield. Like, in other words, if all of their core major AAA exclusive IPs all of a sudden start showing up on Nintendo and PlayStation platforms, go ahead, get your pitchforks out. I understand the outrage, because at that point, why is Xbox even making hardware? Just be a third-party company. But that's not what they're doing.
Eventually.
This is Xbox. The year started off just 4 games, has now turned into more games. There's no more red lines. We know all this, right? I would say to the Xbox community, I would say to the Xbox gamer, the person that loves their Xbox console, because I know you're out there, I talk to you a lot, it's going to be fine. You see the roadmap of games that are coming. We got a ton of fun-ass games coming the next few years. They got 30-plus studios that are making games now. They are not going to stop making Xbox consoles. You're going to continue to get a next-generation Xbox console. Phil told you a handheld's on the way as well. Game Pass is not going anywhere. Yes, it is freaking weird to think that some of these games that traditionally were only on an Xbox console will show up one day on the PlayStation.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm mind blown, right? I shouldn't be shocked. I mean, anything to fit that narrative of Xbox is great in that point in time, right? Back then, as you can see, it's like, you know, they need to stick to their guns. Exclusivity is where it's at. They need to hold these titles into their ecosystem. They need to make this work for them. That's what I believe, down to the core, blah, blah, blah. You name it, insert any adjective, all that stuff. And then, of course, when that has been done, what he said wouldn't happen and what was important, it's not a big deal, guys. It's just Xbox. They're fine. You're going to be fine. Phil said that there's going to be another console coming out next generation, so you're fine. It's okay. Look, he doesn't know for a fact. Phil Spencer we had many examples today, and a lot of people upset with him. He's a used car salesman. He's there to run a business. He's there to make money for the business. He's there to make it happen any which way or form that it needs to happen, right? So even though he said that there's going to be another console generation for Xbox, and I think there will be, that doesn't guarantee it. The more and more that these hardware sales are released to the public across, you know, the world, they're just doing not that great. They continue to slide. So I wouldn't be shocked if he does pull the plug and be like, full third party, you can play these games everywhere. We only did an entire ad campaign of everything's an Xbox. Pull the plug. We don't know, so do not. Word of advice. Do not take Paris's word either, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know for sure what's going to happen to the Xbox brand in the future for sure. All we know is that more than likely, those first-party Xbox games are going to be played on every platform imaginable. That much we do know. In that case, do with that information what you will, but do not follow these frauds and shills. Do not listen to them at the very least. They don't know. And I can't wait to see another breakdown of Paris doing a back and forth, because I'm sure we'll have plenty of those in the future as well, unfortunately. That being said, we'll wrap up the video here. I know it's a little bit long, but I know you guys like it, and hopefully you found some good out of this. And of course, as always, thank you so much. If you haven't already, leave a like, comment down below. The algorithm, that does help it out so much. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. That does help out a small content creator like myself. We have been shooting very high through the ceiling right now, guys. Higher subs than I've encountered in a week or two in a long time, if not ever. So thank you all so much, whether that be the algorithm gods out there, whether that be you guys sharing and word of mouth and everything else. Thank you so much. All the folks have stuck with this channel, thank you. Anybody brand new, welcome and thank you. And of course, as always, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. Until then, take care.